Hi guys, why do I need 6 poles? Or do I need 6 poles? Okay, welcome to Wagger's channel. Please subscribe and please press that like button. It helps me a lot out with my channel, believe it or not. I didn't know this, but it's the Google algorithm or the YouTube algorithm or whatever. It all helps, so I'll be grateful for that. Anyway, as I was saying, why do I need 6 poles? Well, actually I don't. I can get away with 1 to do most of my work. I mean, everyone's work's different, probably. All the same but different. You might have Victorian stuff and it's very tall sometimes, commercial work, but I've got mostly this sort of stuff. Okay, see around here, it's mostly my sort of thing. That's my place, of course, everyone knows that by now. And that's all pretty easy work. I haven't got any commercial work now. I get by just fine, but as I say, all I need is 1 pole, and I break it down. I don't use all the sections. Here they are now anyway. But why did I say, why have I got all these poles? Well, in some ways I've accumulated them. My son's used some of them and said, oh, it's worn out, but I have repaired them. You know what I'm like with repairing stuff. I'm a complete nutter at that, as you know. DIY. It's the sort of job, right, that suits me, because it's like a DIY thing. Of all the things I could have done in my life, I mean, I was in the Navy and I was even a psychiatric nurse, believe it or not. I've been around selling sandwiches in a van, done all sorts of stuff, but in the end I'm sort of glad I found this, because it's sort of right up my street. But anyway, back to the subject again. Why do I need 6 poles? I think I said 5. There's 5 there, and the smaller one. The smaller one here is an Unger pole. You probably recognise it. The green gives it away, doesn't it? But that one I use for the shops with a squeegee on the end. Okay. And I've got several reach it poles. Okay, you can see that by the clamps. This one here, I think it's an X-line or a facelift, I can't remember now. There's no markings on it. I inherited that one and fixed all the clamps. Now that works just fine as well. Another reach it one. It's with the original clamps. Well, maybe tell a lie, I think I've replaced them, but the original style clamps on there anyway. Got a Gardner's SLX 35, but again I've split that. I'll come to that in a minute. Another reach it one there, and there's all the rest of the sections. If I need them, I can slap them on. The reason I don't have all this on is because I don't need it, and it's extra weight, so I can move faster, be more efficient, and make my life easier without the extra weight. And it does make such a big difference. Take the Gardner SLX for instance. Now I've only got how many sections? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections on that, and there's another 2 I could put on over there, and then you get to the 35. Actually, with a lot of my work I could even take 1 more section off there, and that must be one of the lightest poles in the world, combined with one of the reach it brushes here. Constructor brush, these are called, as you know. There's the X-line, which I particularly like. I really do like that brush, you know. X-line brush. It's one of the best brushes. It sits on the glass absolutely perfectly. That's got the original twin jets in it, which I can still work with, and the rest I've got the rinse bars. Okay, not on the inside, but I prefer them on the top edge here. You can get them to flow from inside. Yeah, but I've taken them all out. Okay, back to the point I was making before though. Why do I like to have all these poles and all these brushes? Well, to tell you the truth, I rotate them week by week. I'll take a couple with me 1 week, then the next week take another couple, and then the week after take another couple again and start at the beginning again. Although I'm not actually accurate with that, I'll just mix and match all the time. Sometimes I'll swap brushes. I've got a spare one here, by the way, so that makes 6 brushes I've got all together. Now, because I do that, it makes everything last longer. I know that you might not have the luxury of doing that, because these poles, let's face it, can be quite expensive. Everybody's circumstances might be different, okay, you might not be as fortunate as me, but I've accumulated these poles over years, to be quite honest, and I've made them last. And like I said, I've said before, I'm probably like an old record now, but I like to oil them, oil all the clamps, keep them all from wearing out by adjusting them properly. As soon as you get rotation, that's the worst thing that can happen. If it's rotating all day every day, that'll wear away really fast. Another thing is that I have all the hoses on the outside. That helps a bit as well, because if you have your pole hose on the inside of your pole, I mean, this has been said before, I've said it to death I know, but it will drag the dirt in more than if you've got your pole hose on the outside. Not for everybody, somebody tried it and says that was terrible, but actually it's a bit of a learning curve, you know. All these things, when I first tried it, and I was actually kinking the hose as well, that's what I do now. I don't have a tap because it's so simple. I just kink the hose and I can do it without thinking now. It's a big learning curve in reality. A lot of people say, well, the hose bangs on the side of the pole, it swings everywhere, but what you need to do is hold the pole hose to the pole. Don't let it swing everywhere. You see, you just get good at it and efficient. But if you prefer to have the hose in the middle, that's fine. But that's one of the reasons that these poles have lasted so long. I mean, some of them must be about 6 years. Unbelievable. I can't believe it myself. I'm able, by my efficiency and learning curve, to make these poles last longer. They don't get battered around as much, and I try a lot to stop them scraping on the edge of the tiles. It's like you'll get a roof like this, but much longer, and you'll have to rest it on the edge because you just haven't got the strength to lift it up. I mean, some of you might, but it'll scrape on the edge of the tiles. I try and do everything to avoid that, you know, because that wears them away very quickly as well. You might be able to see quite a lot of scratches on some of these. By coming closely, you can see there's a lot of scratches that's come from that. See, that's one of the things that will wear a pole away really fast as well. But in the main, they're really good. I think this is one of the older ones, and it's just fine. But another tip I can give you is what I do. Instead of using the whole section, instead of pulling it right out, you'll know your own work, you know the height. Sometimes I have to, obviously, when you have to reach over a conservatory or something, but I'll only pull this out about 2 foot or even less. Then the next section about 2.5 foot, next section 3 foot, then the next section 4 foot, that sort of thing. Gets longer and longer, and then fully extend the last bit so that you get a much more rigid pole, plus you don't get the wear and tear the same on that first section, because generally it's the first and second section that get the most wear and tear. Plus what I'll do, once I get this length how I like it, I'll clamp it up and I'll leave it like that, just walk around like that, then use all the other sections to extend it and break it down again. Okay, I've been through that with another video anyway, but there you go. That's why I've got an arsenal of 6 poles, because I rotate them around and they just last forever that way. And I look after them, take them off, take them all apart, wax them sometimes. Well, that doesn't seem to last very long, but it all helps. The oiling technique, making sure they're all adjusted properly, as well. Okay, and that way you're going to make your pole last longer. It's going to pay off, not going to be as much hassle, and it all contributes to greater efficiency. So there you go. Thanks very much for listening, and once again, that's the job done.